audience, a medium, and a way to make money and monetize it. It's sort of a tough decision. I've been going kind of back and forth. I think I definitely struggled to make a lot of really close relationships. It kind of caught me by surprise because I'd always thought that if I post a video and it doesn't go viral, then it lost its opportunity.
Hey guys, how are you? Today we have a really unique episode. It's going to be really cool and there's a different twist. That's because it's going to be the first and maybe the only podcast in English. My name is João and I created the podcast Vibe Talk by João, where I talk with inspirational people that have an influence in society and in the world. And it's all in Portuguese. My other videos here in the channel, vlogs and all of that stuff, are in English, but the podcast that is in Portuguese. But this special and unique episode is going to be with a really cool guest, and it's going to be in English. For all Brazilian viewers and people outside from Brazil, enjoy this week's episode. We started making videos only 1 year ago and already has 219k subscribers. Videos that reach up to 2.5 million views. He's just 17 years old and already has his own brand, in this case Perspectopia, and in which I'm really excited to talk to about some really cool topics. So please enjoy this week's podcast with Max Reisenger. So first of all, thank you for accepting, the invitation. I've been watching your videos. I actually started watching them this quarantine and I just love them, and you're really big inspirational. So thank you very much, Max.
Happy to be here. Thank you for having me on. Love to hear that.
So first of all, I wanted to start, how is quarantine being for you? I don't know the situation where you live, but the last months, how has it been for you, and what have you been doing?
Yeah, so right now I live in North Carolina, in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. So it's a pretty small town for the most part. And so far we haven't had that many cases compared to other cities in the state. So it's been pretty contained. I don't know anyone who has the virus or anything. A lot of our state is pretty bad at the moment, so we have a lot of cases and it's only increasing. So it's weird because we're sort of in this bubble where it's kind of fine where we live, but it's getting worse around us. So we're kind of waiting for everything to collapse. So yeah, it's been weird because we've kind of been going in and out. It kind of opened up, then it got worse. And right now it's sort of the same, because it's hard because it doesn't feel any different. But we're trying to lock down even more now and continue to take it serious.
Crazy moment. And did you have anything planned, like big college, university, something that was planned for this year that because of the COVID it has changed?
Yeah. The main thing that's canceled was I was going to go to nationals for running in New York City. And it was canceled just a few days before the event. And that was right when everything was starting to really take off in New York. So that was canceled, and then I had a lot of plans to actually stay and travel in Europe throughout the summer and visit colleges and all of that. So a lot of travel plans just got thrown out the door.
But about the decision of going to college, and even though you have your brand and your YouTube channel and everything, and you could focus only on that, and you could not go to college, and all the decision behind that, how was the decision for you, knowing kind of a different lifestyle, because not many people have at such a young age a brand and a YouTube channel? How was that decision for you to go to college and university?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's weird for me just because it's all happened so fast. And I just have this huge opportunity, an audience, a medium, and a way to make money and monetize it. And now I'm starting to get larger brand deals, and it's all sort of happened really fast. And I guess the way I've looked at it is it's all been amazing, but at the same time, I don't want to waste this opportunity, and I could really go all in and see where it takes me. So there's sort of that. You could go all in on this opportunity, or you could take a little more of a conservative approach and slow down a bit, go to college, get your education, really delve into learning a topic that you're passionate about while still being able to do that. So it's been sort of a tough decision. I've been going kind of back and forth for a while now, but I've decided that as of now, I'm going to go to college and just see where that takes me. Because I believe there's a lot of value in education. And yeah, I think the Steve Jobs quote stands out with me is you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking back. So right now, it may not seem like the greatest return on investment to slow down, but I think in the long run, it could really help me out in the future. So that's sort of where I'm at the moment.
And talking about education, I would like to start going back for your first videos. You stay at friends for 7 months or something like that, and I wanted to know how was that experience, because I already had the experience of living, for example, in Canada for 6 months, and that was great too. But I wanted to know about you. How was the whole experience of staying 7 months in a new country?
Yeah, it was weird. It was very exciting. I'm a pretty independent person, so I was able to really focus on my running, my videos, and just sort of survive with just being in my family. I think I definitely struggled to make a lot of really close relationships just because there's social things with the kids. They were different and the language wasn't always there. But it was just really exciting. Everything was new. Everything in Europe, I think, is better. But it was just a really fun experience. And there's never really too many down moments. The south of France is pretty sweet. So overall, it was pretty awesome.
And how was the adaptation at a new school with a new language and new people? How was that for you?
I think it was hard. Just because the language was a big struggle in the beginning, and it just felt really different from my school in America. Just social things with the kids, it felt like it was very hard to break into the circle of friendship there in France. So there's a lot of all right, they're gonna go hang out, and I'm gonna go home. So I found it really hard to sort of get in with the kids there, which just felt different from how we're socially arranged in America, if that makes sense. That was a bit of a struggle, but I was still able to be friendly and nice with the kids, which at the end of the day, that's what mattered the most.
And moving to France at 15 years old was your first YouTube video. And why did you create your channel, and what was behind creating a channel and a YouTube channel?
I'd always wanted to create a channel. I've been the biggest fan of Casey Neistat for just the longest time ever, and just super inspired by how he made me feel. And I'd always wanted to start one, but I never felt like I had the opportunity or just the push to really show something interesting and talk about something interesting. And so I was like, all right, I'm moving to France. This is going to be really interesting and just completely different experience. And I know I'm going to really grow up through the experience and change as a person. And I thought that was, the perfect thing to document and just start filming. So took the leap and did my best to film the first video. And then from there on, it got easier and easier.
Yeah. And did you learn, filming editing by YouTube videos? Because, from the first video, it already has a really good quality. Where did you learn to do that?
I think I'm a pretty visual learner. I think just probably watching hundreds of videos online on YouTube and just Casey himself, you sort of pick things up and you understand what looks good and what doesn't. So I don't think I actually did any sort of online course or YouTube videos. A lot of just me filming, editing, seeing what feels right, and then adjusting and learning by actually making the videos themselves.
And your channel has just skyrocketed in the last 1.5 years, and it has been growing a lot. But in those first 1, 2, 3 videos, how was the progression of views and the audience and all of that?
Yeah, so the interesting thing is that my videos that ended up going viral and skyrocketing my channel, I posted those basically really close to when I actually moved there. And so for the first 7 months of having my channel, I only had 2,000 subscribers. So I'd gain maybe 5 to 10 subscribers a day. And so the videos that went viral 6-7 months after I published them. So it wasn't like an immediate like, oh, I posted a video, it's viral. So I was kind of sitting on it for the longest of time. So that was, it kind of caught me by surprise because I'd always thought that if I post a video and it doesn't go viral, then it lost its opportunity. So yeah, for the longest of time, I wasn't really getting any sort of or like I didn't feel like the videos were getting what it deserved. And then once it took off, the algorithm sort of carried me from there. But it goes up and down depending on what the algorithm wants. So like I'll post a video now, and then in the first 24 hours, it'll get like 30,000 impressions, for example. But if I post it when the algorithm's doing well for my channel, it could get 300,000. So it's kind of all over the place.
That's crazy because like from a viewer's perspective, like from me, I thought, you posted and you already had, thousands and thousands of views, but you're using. And how was your reaction after, when it started to skyrocket all these videos and get more than 1 million views? How was your reaction?
I was pretty ecstatic. I mean, it's sort of a dream. I remember living in France. I'm like, wow, like I feel like I should be getting more than like a couple hundred views on these videos. And I felt like I'm putting in like hundreds of hours into this, and like you just feel like you deserve it. You're waiting. You kind of think like, oh, it's got to happen someday, right? So every night you're just like, maybe I'll wake up this morning and it'll finally go viral, and it'll all be crazy. And then like after a couple months, it doesn't happen, and then when it actually does happen, it's just surreal. It's really exciting. I was jumping around my room. Everyone's excited. You're like, oh my god, this is it. So it definitely feels as good as you think it does.
But did you get like when you saw it was getting viral, did you get like anxiety or overwhelmed because now from nowhere my channel that he had a few hundred subscribers now is going to skyrocketing and it's growing so much? What am I going to do? What am I going to post? What the viewers are going to think of me? How was that point of view?
Yeah, I think if anything for me, it was sort of the opposite reaction. It was more like, wow, this is really exciting. Like I finally have like the audience that I can like deliver what I want to deliver, and I feel like this is what I wanted the whole time. So if anything, I was like, all right, time to start making more videos and make better quality videos for my audience. And I remember that, like next weeks after that, I was really, really focused on putting out good content. And in general, I just have an optimistic view on things, so I'm not worried about them judging me or this or that. It's more like, what value can I provide to them? What community can I now build upon these awesome people? So yeah, it was a pretty positive outlook.
And do you have any idea how those videos got viral? If it was hard work or you were in the right place at the right time? Do you have any idea how that happened?
I think it's definitely a combination of a lot of elements, but I was definitely put in the right place at the right time. But without taking that, I still remember that before every viral video, there's a lot of like uncertainty of whether I should film or not, because going into school and filming on your first day is a pretty risky thing. You don't know anyone. I'm carrying a big camera. I kind of look like a fool. I'm the new kid. And like, it's pretty nerve-wracking. And I think 99% of people wouldn't film on the first day. So it's definitely that leap of faith that sort of set me up to be able to go viral. And I think the reason why those videos went viral is because school was really interesting. Yeah. Like you filmed a video in your school. I'd want to see that. Yeah. And I think people are really curious about that. Yeah. And to be able to have someone kind of like go in and show it something that you've never really seen before, that has potential to be viral. And yeah, I think that's why each of the videos have gone viral. It's just because it's a really interesting topic. People want to see it. And when it went viral was when people are going back to school. So there's a lot of like attention and buzz about school itself. And then that's when the algorithm is like, all right, let's push out these school videos. So there's definitely a reason why I went viral, but it wasn't complete luck.
Like a question that I had for, watching the videos, specifically that one that you go to school and vlog on your first day. How did you got that courage, and how was for you like, what am I do? At the same time that the video can go viral, people can make fun of me, and it could ruin everything at the first day, and maybe teachers don't like, and maybe how did you pass that point of uncertainly and made that video?
Yeah, that's a great question. A lot of those questions were like going through my head. It's pretty nerve wracking, as I said. Like, if this goes wrong, I could get in trouble on the first day. People don't like me; they think I'm weird, and then I'm stuck here in this other country. Um, and I don't think that it was like the thing is like before that I was a pretty shy kid. I was insecure. At times I'm really worried about what people think, and I'm an introvert, so that seems sort of like out of character. And I don't think that it was necessarily me being brave. The way I looked at it is I was just really excited and optimistic. I was like, it could be all this, but at the same time, it could be really interesting. It could be great. Like people at home would love to watch this video. Like the people at school could actually be really nice. And I think I was able to really combat my negative thoughts with a lot of optimism, and that just sort of built an excitement within me to where like whatever happens, and I'm just excited to just be out here and film, and I'll see. So yeah, I think it's something that anyone can do, but just sort of like your perspective on the situation is what can really help build that courage within you.
Yeah, it's crazy how like a YouTube channel and just creating can, you can learn so much from it, because like for example in my case I don't have anything, big audience and anything, but YouTube for example creating this podcast I have learned so much and so many things that if I was there doing other stuff and watching Netflix and whatever, I would not really learn. So that's really interesting. And I wanted to know about, you have a community all over the world. For example, you have just posted like saying goodbye or quarantine stories from kids all over the world. How's that connection between you and the community?
It's awesome. I feel very, very lucky to have the people that I have. The school videos really brought together just kids my age from all around the world. I think I have a really unique and special audience that is just incredibly international. Like on my YouTube analytics sheet, it stops at 50 countries, but I know it keeps on going and going. So it's hard to sort of wrap my mind around in the first place, just because like, wow, like, I mean, there's just so many people out there. But I think, as always, like you owe everything to the audience. And I think my audience is just full of a lot of awesome, special people, and it's been great to bring them together with Perspectopia. And I think sort of my main goal moving forward is just to really unite an audience and grow it as large as I can, because I think community is a really important thing in life, and feeling like you're part of something and you stand by something and you believe in something. So yeah, I think my relationship with my audience is something I always want to improve on. But yeah, I feel super grateful to have them, and I feel like I can just be like myself with them. Like I don't feel like I'm some like leader. It's more like I'm with them, and that's how I hope it would feel. Just because like I'm a regular kid at the end of the day. But yeah, I love my audience. It's fun to get to know people and just be kids and talk about things, and yeah, it's great.
And finishing this YouTube segment, I wanted to know from you if you have any tips or advice from anyone, any creator that has just started or been in this platform for some time.
Yeah, I think the best advice I'd give is a lot of people are hesitant on actually just starting a channel, and I get a lot of DMs saying, should I create a channel? Should I do this? I don't know if I should create a channel. My advice would just be, first of all, just make the channel, make a video, and you'll learn a lot along the way. And then after that, I think the best way to stand out or have success on a platform is either say something new, show something new, or show it in a way that hasn't been done before. If you can do one of those three, I think it'll bring attention. I think the school videos were something new that people haven't seen before, or I showed it in a way that hasn't been seen before, or I talked about it in a way that hasn't been seen before. And I think that's what really made it special. I think if you can do that and you stay patient and you love it and you're passionate about it, I think it'll really take you somewhere.
Thanks for the advice. And now you have just posted a video a few months ago that how I manage my time with YouTube, my business and school. And I wanted, to ask you, how do you manage the time with your YouTube channel that is growing, your business that you have just started, and it's probably been really cool to create and your school at the same time?
I think like productivity and like, working hard is sort of like an illusion at times. So I think me looking back, I look back at the year, I'm like, oh, I definitely could have been posting 2, 3 videos a week. I think it's not as impressive as it actually is in real life. Like, I think people assume that I'm like working 24/7 and I'm like always working on videos and Perspectopian. I actually have like a fair amount of free time. I can hang out with friends. I can watch a movie with my family, and I think it's not as crazy hard as it is to manage all these things. It's more that I just really enjoy them. So like when I do sit down to edit for a couple hours, I can just get it done. And I think eventually over time you get more and more efficient as you do things, and it takes less time. But at the end of the day, I realized that like balance is the most important thing. So taking time to like be with my family or watch a movie or just relax and not doing anything productive could be just as productive. So I think it comes down to balance and sleep at the end of the day. But I'm not some like productivity machine. But I think your relationship with your work changes over time. Like when I was in France or when I was going viral, I was definitely working a lot harder on my videos. Just because it was like my dream was to make it. Now that I've made it essentially, I kind of have to reassess with my goals and kind of find that hunger again to like really go after it. So I think I've spread out my energy into different things. Like now I'm working more on Perspectopia and spending more time like emailing people, and you kind of like your energy shifts with different things over time. But at the end of the day, I think my passion is what really makes me be able to do sort of like all these things just because I enjoy it.
And how do you balance, all those things with, not a normal life, but, a more peaceful and where you can relax more? What habits, what goals do you have every day to manage to do that?
Yeah, I think, first of all, writing things down really helps. Just having a clear idea of what you want to do every single day I found that to be the most effective thing. But then also like recently, I feel like I'm in a space where I was working really hard for a while, and then I got tired, like I was just trying to rest. And I think once you take a little rest, it's easy to like want to take a lot of rest, and it's kind of hard to go back and forth. And so recently I've been struggling a bit, to be honest, to like really focus on and like edit videos when I don't want to edit. So even myself, like a year and a half into it, I'm not perfect with it at all. But I think if you can create a relationship where you're not so hard on yourself, I think that can be really healthy. So at the end of the day, it's like your perspective on it is like what the reality ends up being. But if I could give like solid advice, it would be to plan it out with time blocks. And then sort of like at the end of the day, if you can like sort of write some notes on how it went, what worked, what didn't work, and you can revise that. And then every single day you can sort of adjust minor things. I think you can really get into a rhythm with that. And I think that's what's really helped me in times where I am really productive is feedback, having a plan. I think it's simpler than you think. There's not quite like a magic formula, but you can kind of tweak it to find out what works for yourself.
And what motivates and inspire you? Because, to get creative, to, continue with your business and your channel, what does inspire you and makes you continuing to create?
I think in general, like I said earlier, I'm an optimistic person. So I think life in general just excites me. The idea of just like, I'm born on this planet, and it could be my one shot, and I feel like I was born with a lot of opportunities. I'm definitely privileged to be in the spot where I'm at now. And I was able to travel a lot when I was younger and still enabled to travel. I know a lot of people aren't. So that sort of built a desire to be able to share things with other people. And I feel very fortunate for those things. And I think it makes me feel like fulfilled to help other people and to share these things, because I know that it's really helped me. And I feel like it's not necessarily like my duty, but like I enjoy being able to like share these things that I've picked up over time. I think that is just really motivating, when you feel like you have something to say and you feel like you can help people, you want to like get that out into the world. And then, I just like setting really big goals and seeing seeing where like I can go in the future, like maybe I'll hit 1 million subscribers, like just the idea of that like makes me excited. And if I could form this awesome community and people become friends, little things like that just make me excited. And I think all of that funnels into my work. So yeah, visualizing the future and just generally being excited about things is what motivates me.
And I just wanted to know, so people can know a bit about the idea of creating Perspectopia, because, you already have achieved so much with your channel. And why did you create it? And what is the brand Perspectopia?
So with my YouTube channel, like from the very beginning, I always had this sort of dream to create a community of people that sort of shared like-minded views on things. And it might have stemmed from like being in high school and a lot of people are negative or just sort of grumpy. And, like I didn't feel that way. You want to find people in life who like sort of, believe the things that you believe in, like being in the right environment, people can really lift you up. So I felt like I didn't quite have that at home always. And so now I have this YouTube audience and I was starting to gain subscribers and stuff, but like I felt like no one knew each other on the channel. There's like the comment section, but like people are just commenting individually. No one's really having conversations in the comments and getting to know each other. And so I essentially wanted to find a way to translate my audience and all the numbers and people that are watching my videos and sort of get those people connected and introduce each other and make it feel like a community of people. I think that's just like one of the most amazing things in life, or one of the most important things, is being a part of a community of people. And yeah, so that's sort of what I set out with Perspectopia. It combines the words perspective and utopia, and sort of this like optimistic way about thinking about things in the world. And so I was able to create a Discord where people can join. And through that, people have just talked, had conversations, people have become friends. I think people have even met up in real life now. And yeah, sort of my whole vision with Perspectopia is a place where you can just talk to people from all around the world, and sort of escape out of your daily life and be optimistic or just talk about things and feel like it's like a fun, cool place where you can be. The internet obviously allows us to communicate with people, and I think that's an awesome platform, or just technology in general. And then through that, I've turned it into a clothing brand, so that you can wear and express sort of the Perspectopian beliefs. And I have a large passion for, design, and I enjoy the aspect of being an entrepreneur. And so I've turned that community of people into a community of people who can wear the products from Perspectopia and sort of get to it in that aspect as well. But yeah, for me, at the end of the day, community is like one of the most important things, your friends, people you're around. And I think if I have a platform and an audience, I can sort of have the opportunity to unite people in this way. That's what I'm going to aspire to do at the end of the day.
And you just said, almost finishing here, that you like setting up really big goals. I wanted to know, from you, what are your goals? Not, it doesn't need to be, for your whole life, but in a short notice, what are your goals in your channel, in your brand, in basically your life?
I think definitely with the channel, the next goal is to hit 1 million subscribers. Obviously, like this right here was like a big surprise, and this is like super cool. But to be able to have like a gold one would be just incredible, and just the idea of like 1 million is awesome. Obviously, my full name is Maximilian, so it would kind of fit with that. And it's not even necessary that I would hit 1 million subscribers. I don't even think it would make me any happier. But I think it's just the pursuit of trying to get to 1 million subscribers, and that sort of journey as a community together is what makes it fun. So I think at the end of the day, I love setting big goals, and I mean, I care about them to a certain degree, but it's not like if I don't hit it, I'm going to be devastated and upset. It's more like I just have a really fun time setting the goals, and along the way, that excitement that like, oh my God, like there's no way this is possible, but like, what if it actually is, and that sort of is what keeps me going. And I guess with the channel, million subscribers and just building the community and just making it more interconnected and building other platforms on top of that is, I think, what I want to do next. And we're already having people starting to do like language classes on the Discord. We're hosting more events, movie nights, and I think if I can just continue to build upon that and do more things that can reach more people, that's obviously the goal. And like just continuing to sell more product would be sweet for Perspectopia. But yeah, I think that's just my main goal, is continuing to just build upon what I'm doing. Obviously, like a year ago, I was around 2,000 subscribers. Like a year ago today, 2,000 subscribers, and now I have 220,000 now or something. So like, I never would have even thought I'd be where I was today. So I'm obviously very happy with where I am. But yeah, it's weird to like have to set goals on top of goals that you never thought would even happen. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
And first, so we could finish, I only wanted to ask you 5 questions where you just answer it as fast as you can, really simple ones. So first of all, best trip.
Best trip? Ooh. Definitely Morocco.
Yeah. Best experience.
Best experience. Ooh. It's a good question. That's a really good question. I think traveling like alone in France, like going on adventures by myself, was probably the best experience. Maybe just like, I think like I did this one hike in X one time, and just like the freedom of that and going out into the city, and it's not something I normally do, is like just a really freeing experience. I feel like I was really growing up through that. So it's nothing crazy, but I just remember that to be a good moment for me.
If you could focus in only one thing, Perspectopia or your channel?
Oh, I definitely have to say my channel, just because it's the community aspect of that, and Perspectopia is just a bonus. But yeah, I'd have to say my channel.
I will next achieve a state of happiness by...
I think being faster with my running right now would make me happier. It's the beginning of the season. I'm not where I want to be, but I think that would really help me, feel better.
So yeah, that was basically it. That was the podcast. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation, and just to have this talk, it was really, really great, and thank you so much.
I had a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on. That was fun.
Thanks. And that was the podcast, guys. Hope you enjoy it. It was so cool for me, even though, talking in English for such a long time that I don't do that, but it was great. It was fun, and hope you guys got inspired, got to know Max more, and enjoy this week's podcast. And that's basically it. See you in my next week's podcast, and enjoy your day. See you.